Okay, it's 10:02. We're gonna get started. So, like I said before, welcome to the Tripadvisor Ad Express webinar. All right, so obviously most of you already know Tripadvisor. That's why you're here. You know Tripadvisor Ad Express. Maybe you've already booked before. Maybe you're debating on buying today. Whatever the case may be, let's go into a little bit of an overview of Tripadvisor. So, we get 292 million travelers actively planning and buying. We have a 500 million monthly view. So that's a pretty big global reach. We have the world's largest premium travel audience as well. Okay. So today's agenda. So how to utilize our targeting and reduce your CPM. Improve your SEO with our new listing booster product. We're going to go over creative sizes, formats, and best practices. You're also going to get to know our new offers page. And last but not least, our insider hints and tips to run a successful campaign. Exciting stuff. Okay, questions and feedback are allowed, so please type them in into our chat within this Zoom. Written answers will be provided after the webinar, so no worries there. Okay, so we know that you are going to reach an audience using Tripadvisor, right? But what we want the main goal to be today is for you to not only reach an audience, but reach the correct audience for your specific business using Tripadvisor Ad Express. All right, enough with the intro. Let's get into the platform. Okay. Okay, so this screen might seem familiar to most of you. This is the dashboard. Now, like other ad tracking platforms, similar to say like Google AdWords, Facebook Ad Manager, we are tracking the number of impressions, the number of clicks, the click-through rate, and the spend. We will get into conversions later on. No matter what you want to do within this platform, anytime you want to create an ad, video, anything of that nature, you have to click the new ad campaign right up here, and that's where the magic happens. Remember, this is a Tripadvisor's version of a self-serve ad platform, Tripadvisor Ad Express. Okay, before we get into the ad creation process, just right up here, how to create a campaign. Of course, we are resources as well, but if you ever want a quick reference, just click right up here. Don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to go through all of this today. Okay. All right, we're going to call this test. Now, right here, as you can see, we have two sets of products. Advertising campaign is our standard media. That is image and video display ad. Now, our newer subset of products, our listing booster, is unique to Tripadvisor. And what that does is it takes a Tripadvisor business listing and it superimposes it into the ad itself, eliminating you uploading standard videos or standard creatives. Okay. Who utilizes which? So anyone can utilize our video and static image ads. But listing booster are only for those who have a Tripadvisor business listing. So think hotels, restaurants, and attractions. But don't worry, if you're a different type of business, a DMO, a retail brand, a finance company, you can still run traditional media using Tripadvisor Ad Express. Basically, anybody who wants to run advertisements on Tripadvisor can. Right, I'm going to focus on our listing booster product first. I think it's the easier or more intro option to using Tripadvisor Ad Express. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, first question, I know on everybody's mind, why are there two options? And second question, what do these discounts mean? So with the Tripadvisor listing booster, the first option, the Tripadvisor listing, when the user clicks on the listing booster, it gets directed back to your Tripadvisor business listing. That could be good if you are looking to increase engagement on your business listing. Maybe you want more reviews. Maybe you're currently selling tickets or room stays or have restaurant reservations on there. Whatever the case may be, if you want users back on your page, please go the Tripadvisor listing route. Now, the external website route operates like traditional media, where the user is clicking on the listing booster but is getting redirected back to a URL of your choice. So what do the discounts mean? So the discounts are based off of our standard media rates, images specifically. So this first option is 50% less in terms of CPM, and this option is 10% less in terms of CPM. Okay. So I'm going to click on this. I'm sure you're wondering by now, what does this look like? And this is what it looks like, right? It looks pretty cool. It basically superimposes your Tripadvisor business listing and turns it into the ad itself. Now, I know another concern is, well, if I already have a Tripadvisor business listing, why do I need to use this product? That's a great concern. So with a Tripadvisor business listing, I like to say that's our like intro to Tripadvisor, right? You list your business. It's listed in the proper category and the proper city location. However, maybe you'll be on the first page if you're lucky, but odds are you'll probably be on the 10th page or beyond or something of that nature. Also, you won't be on other verticals. So if you want to basically push your business out there ahead of the competition, it's hard to do so with a basic route. So think of Tripadvisor Ad Express as a reasonable premium option to get ahead of the competition, be featured on different verticals of Tripadvisor, and also not just where your business is located. Maybe you want to make your targeting broad, maybe you want to make it specific. Whatever the case may be, you have the option to target who you want within this platform using Tripadvisor Ad Express. So before I get into these targeting options, let's talk about how to actually add your business listing onto Tripadvisor Ad Express. Okay, so I already selected my targeting option. Actually, I didn't. Let me confirm it here. Okay, great. And we're going to change this. We're going to add new listing. So I'm going to name it Top of the World because that is the restaurant we're going to add. I'm going to take the business listing URL and paste it under listing URL. Perfect. I chose the external website option, so I need a place for it to redirect to. I'm going to put that under destination URL. Look at that. It appears on the bottom. Isn't that great? So you get to view it, make sure you like it before you confirm. Now, for example, say you don't like it, you don't like that picture that it pulled, that's okay. Just go into your management center, change the main image, and then it will appear here. Remember, this is the only connection between the Tripadvisor Ad Express and your management center. Other than that, there are two separate logins and two separate products. So just remember that. So we're going to confirm. We're going to choose this one. All right, and we're ready to go. Now let's get into targeting. Okay, so you have 4 options, and these 4 options stay the same across all the products within this platform. The only thing that's going to vary among them is the CPM rate. So just keep that in mind. Okay, no matter what you choose, it's always going to ask you to input visitor location targeting. Think of that as equivalent to IP address. So for example, if I want to run a brand awareness campaign, just targeting users in the US by IP address, we would select all destinations. Now that might be too broad for what you're looking to do, and that's okay, because that's why we have these other 3 options that take it a step further. For example, say I wanted to run a campaign targeting people that are either living or visiting the US and looking at anything Canadian related on Tripadvisor. I would then select country destination. I put US as the visitor location, and I would select Canada as the country. So state, region, and city use the same logic, right? US looking at the state of Texas, US looking at the city of Las Vegas. And I know I keep saying US, you don't have to get that broad. You could keep it at a few states maybe a county level, a DMO level. You could get as broad or as specific as you'd like. In this case, I'm going to pick city destination because we're going to run a campaign targeting people in the US and Canada looking at Las Vegas on Tripadvisor. Okay. So visual location, like I said before, IP address, we're going to put US here and we're going to put Canada here as well. There we go. And then down here, I'm going to select US again. Why? Because this is an international platform. Okay, two things I want to make note of before we go to the next section. Right away, you are wondering, why is this color coded? What does this mean? Great question. I'm going to click here. So when we looked at CPMs, it keeps saying base. Because we have US and Canada, US being the more costly of the two, the system is going to charge $7.50 because it's tier 1 to our base. It is not going to charge again for a tier 2, and it would not charge again if I used another tier 1 location. It's one charge per campaign if applicable. It just applies to visual location only. It is not affecting city destination. I can pick as many cities as I'd like. Okay, great. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I know which regions fall under which tier? Just click right here. And there's a list of what regions fall under which tier. So I'm just going to close that out and we're going to proceed. Now, I want to share a little trick, especially I know DMOs use this a lot. It's called competitive conquest targeting. For example, right now we are targeting people in the US and Canada looking specifically at anything Las Vegas related on Tripadvisor. But you know what? I want to capture my competition as well. Let's get people looking at Reno too. So now people looking at Reno on Tripadvisor who are currently located in the US and Canada will also see my restaurant listing booster. Okay, so audience targeting is optional. It'll be available across all products, no matter what targeting you pick. It always adds $2 to the CPM and it is optional to use, but what is it? So say you want to target based on location, but also by groups. When I say groups, I mean maybe restaurant goers, hotel shoppers, attraction shoppers, beach goers, cruise, plane, train, automobile, weekend, weeknight, family, couple, whatever you're looking for, it is most likely in here. For the sake of this, I'm going to leave it blank. If you are on the fence about using it, my advice is to maybe use it the second time around. That's because our platform will tell you the top 5 groups looking at your ad once it's live, so then you can make an informed decision later on. Now, destination retargeting, this is also available across all products in this platform, no matter which targeting you choose. It's optional to use, but it doesn't cost anything extra, so keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is also target people looking at Nevada, no extra charge. Perfect. Here you get to pick your own budget and date range. Watch this. I put my budget here. It tells me how many impressions I would be purchasing based on my targeting selections above. Let's see what I can get. I double it. Awesome. I am going to go ahead and make it a month. And I know what you're thinking. Well, if I make it a month, is it going to stay up a month? Is it going to run a month? Am I competing against other people? So good news on both fronts. Once you purchase these number of impressions, they are yours and yours alone. And the platform will deliver in full, and if not in full, at least within 90%. Yes, it would stay live the whole month because what the system will do is take what you purchase and divide it evenly over the date range you selected. So you don't have to worry about your campaign ending prematurely, and you don't have to worry about being overcharged. And last but not least, most importantly, it's not marketplace. You don't have to worry about competing against others who are maybe running similar campaigns. These impressions are yours and yours alone. All right. We skipped the whole creative portion because we went the listing booster route. Yay us. So now we're going to check the availability. So I like to say green means go, red means no. I think we're going to get green here. Green means you can go ahead and add it to your cart. Red means we don't have enough impressions, so you have to go back and either fix your budget, date range, or targeting. Because we are hitting 15% less availability based on our targeting selections, is basically telling us that we're at 6, and to get to 15, we'd have to make one of these changes. We could reject that. Clearly, we do have a really campaign going on, so I'm going to reject these. I'm going to add this to cart. Once we get to our cart, we're going to go back. We're going to create another campaign. This time we're going to do standard image display. All right, we're just gonna wait. You get to get a sneak peek of what our shopping cart looks like. There we go. All right, so at this point, remember, where does the magic happen? New ad campaign. And this time we're going to call it test 2. And we're going to select advertising campaign. Okay, let's look at video first, just so you could see what it would look like on Tripadvisor. See, there's those 4 options again, and this is how video would look across different verticals and in different formats on Tripadvisor. I'll go through that again. Okay, let's go to images now. Okay, so these are the different sizes we offer, the 300 by 250, the 320 by 50, 728 by 90, our leaderboard, our native, skyscraper, 160 by 600, our half page, 300 by 600, and our newest size, the 970 by 250. Notice all these creatives have a call to action, some type of wording, because without them, it would not be approved. The only loophole is the native creative, which is just an image itself with some wording, because we have a template where it lets you input your own text. I'll get to how to upload them later on. Okay, so this time we are going to be a hotel. We are going to target people in the United States looking at anything Florida related, because we're located in Florida. We want to capture those travelers for spring break. Okay, I'm going to select state, region, destination this time. We're going to put United States up here under visitor location because it equals IP address. Like I said before, you could always target on a state level, many as you'd like. Regions, counties, DMO. You just can't put a city up here. Usually a city looking at another region is just too specific, usually won't yield enough impressions, which ultimately does not lead to a good performance or an effective campaign. I'm going to put US again because why? This is international, and we are going to look for the state of Florida, and we are going to select that. Now this time I'm going to use audience targeting because I want to target also people who fall under the hotel shopper category. And how do we know that? We know that by cookies. We know that by their activity on Tripadvisor. Okay, again, this should seem familiar. We are going to put in our budget. We're going to put in our date range. And this time, though, we're going to have to learn how to upload creatives. You got off easy last time, but this time we're going to have to get into this section. So this one's pretty simple. If you already ran an ad with us previously, you have approved creatives, you could just go in here and use these. So good news is if creatives have gotten approved in the past, they don't go anywhere, they stay here. So it's easier to reuse them, don't have to upload new links. Pretty good feature. Remember before I mentioned native creative versus the other sizes. So to upload a native creative, always click on build a creative. The image would appear here, and you get to put in your own wording, like come visit our hotel. I am sure your wording will be a lot better than mine. This is a good example of how it would appear. So we're going to cancel that. Okay, so all the rest of your creatives would be uploaded here. You just pick the size, and you don't have to use all the sizes. It's totally up to you how many you'd like to use. We always suggest trying to put a native creative in there because it tends to have a higher click-through rate. Okay, so these are the size specifications here. Now, I'm sure at this point you're wondering, okay, I've seen before what we track on the dashboard, but what about in terms of conversions? And that's a great question and great concern. So the answer is yes, you are able to do that within this upload creative portion. So there are four ways I see people track conversions. The first way is just putting in a URL. So let's say angeshotel.com. Technically you're not tracking anything, but it's still a valid campaign, and it'll still redirect users to where they need to go. Second most common option is say angeshotel.com/UTM equals Tripadvisor. That's a customized URL. And that is so you know that the traffic is coming from here. So that is usually a very popular method I see people use within this platform. Third is tracking scripts, usually with Google Analytics. It'll be ad tracker dot and a long URL, and then followed by the impression URL, which is a second one, and it's usually longer, and that would go here. What I see most commonly used among, especially like agencies, are party tags. To implement those, you would put them here. We do work with most other third-party performance tracking platforms. I will say, when in doubt, JavaScript over iframe. Don't get alarmed by this. We actually have an ad ops team that is reviewing every tracking script, every third-party tag, every customized URL, every creative. You're making sure everything's loading properly. If there is a mistake or an issue, it'll be rejected, and you'll know about that before you go live. And that is why the soonest you can go live, it's 2 business days out. So that is for your benefit. So we're going to check availability again. We're going to go back to our cart, and we're going to theoretically check out. Now, before we go to the cart, there are 2 payment options: credit card and invoice. Will default to credit card. We can set you to invoice on the back end, but that is reserved for those that are spending a few thousand a month regularly within the platform. So keep that in mind. Credit card is billing upfront, and invoice is a net 30. Okay, so here we are. At this point, you're probably wondering, can I edit things once I book? And the answer is yes and no, depending what it is. So budget, date range, pretty much locked in unless you're set to invoice. In terms of, can I switch from video to listing booster? No, it's a different product. Can I switch from state, region, target to city? No, it changes the CPM. Rule of thumb is if it changes the CPM and if it's a different product, you cannot edit. But you can edit within. So for example, you want to add new creatives, new videos, plus current ones, you can do that while the ad is live. If you are looking to maybe, like before I added Vegas, you want to add Houston to that, you could. Same thing with like Florida, you want to add New York to that, you could, based on availability. All right, enough about the ad creation process. Let's go to our new offers tab. So anytime you have a new booking coming up, you might want to check this out beforehand, see if what you're looking to do would qualify. Like for example, let me show more. It tells you what's applicable and what's not. So if I wanted to run a video ad, this wouldn't be applicable. If I wanted to run like a standard image campaign, look at all the sizes that are applicable. So just click now. I'm ready to go. The offer applies beforehand. You go through the ad process creation like I just did. And look at that. You just saved 15% off on our Easter holiday offer. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's go back to my tips and tricks, and look at that. I'm so excited to share. I went back a few slides. Okay, tip 1, I know I already alluded to this during our webinar, but audience targeting, if you're on the fence, let it go first time around. The platform will let you know which groups are looking at your ad while your campaign is live. 2, if you have a Tripadvisor business listing, it's a great way to use the Tripadvisor listing booster. And also the most you could get off is 50%. So it's a great option to check out the platform. All right, tip 3, I know I already mentioned that as well. Target countries with the same visitor location tier. And or if they share a common language, you'll save money, you'll have greater efficiency, win-win all around. Or I've been using that feature throughout this webinar. Use the availability check feature. It's good to forecast our available audience to help you plan, whether it be a quarter out, a year out, a month out. Use this feature, and it'll be your friend. 5, leverage your account manager, whoever it may be. We are here and happy to help you anytime within this platform, whether it's questions about the platform, tips, tricks, strategy, ad creation, help with targeting, whatever you need, you name it, we're here to help. So you're getting rewarded to sitting through me drone on and on about TAA. You're going to get 10% off if you use this promo code. So if you are on the fence, now you have no excuse. You have to try it out. Please use this 10% off. Consider it our gift to you. Again, thank you so much for your time. I hope you had as much fun listening to Tripadvisor Ad Express as I clearly have fun talking about it. But really, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I look forward to see some new bookings come through after this webinar. And other than that, take care and hope to see you again soon.